Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, the seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. Third degree chosen ones, of course. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth in this divine energy essence of it all, reporting to you live from 5D, fifth dimension. And yes, I am still in the countryside. I'm here getting my little light codes of what's left in the day. I'm in Tennessee in the countryside. You see the trees behind me. The birds are flying through. Ooh, that's a big bug. The crickets they was just sounding off. They literally just quieted up now, like, okay, shh, she going on live, right? Don't let me lie, y'all. They're going to start right back up. Anyway, I greet you in this love and light. And as usual, I bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose to infuse with that light on the light grid. Energy, light up. And if you don't, then you will be fried on the light grid. Like some people are getting fried right now because the energy don't lie and the energy is not playing. So you're either going to grab that surfboard and ride that energetic wave, or you're going to get pulled under the undertow, right? And as I'm out here getting these light codes, there was something that I wanted to share with you all, like a recap of this infinite. There's a couple of things I want to share, and I think I'm going to have to break it up. No, I know I'm going to have to break it up. I definitely want to talk about how we're jumping timelines. There's a lot of that happening right now, a lot of timelines jumping, and the finding of the star seeds gathering. That was a major one. And then there is a Kemetic explanation, a recap of what has been happening on, like a recap of this infinite loop that we've been in, but it's like a Kemetic recap, right? And I find that to be intriguing, exciting even, and what's been happening in our souls, right? So let me go. Okay, Spirit giving me that one. Let me go there and like peep this. Stick with me, if you will, for those who understand the Kemetic stories, right? So let me give a little peep about that. The Asar, Aset, and Heru, the Trinity that is a threefold that is within you. And Asar is our wise ego, right? Our Aset is the feminine part. It is the subconscious, right? Asar is like the conscious, and the feminine is the subconscious. That's Aset. And so when we went set tripping, when Aset got in her feelings, right, something spins off from that. We get misappropriated feelings, and off of Aset comes an offset, which is set. And this is a set that we're talking about, the information, the underworld of our self, of our soul self, that gets pulled in, and set comes in and kills Asar. That is all our conscious phase of mind, mind you. Set represents the misappropriations of the conscious mind. When the subconscious mind is misappropriated, it solicits the conscious mind, hence the Adam and Eve story, right? Eve is the feminine. She's in her feelings. She appropriates something and takes in something she's not supposed to take in. That's the feelings. And she passes it on to Adam, right? This parallels the same story. The Adam and Eve story is a parallel of the Asar and Aset story. She passes it on, and he takes a bite and he appropriates it. So that is the solicitation. The subconscious, aka our feelings, solicits the conscious phase of mind, right? So Aset got off in her feelings, and therefore there was some type of solicitation. Here comes Aset, and I want to stick a pin at that solicitation, because I'm going to get back to who that solicitation was, right? And then solicits the conscious phase of mind, and then here comes Set out of that. And now Set is set tripping all up in our conscious mind. We're in our misappropriations. Some of us, all our lives, are walking with these misappropriations, right? Asar has been murdered, dismembered. Why? Because you do not remember, right? Remembering is a reconnecting. When you're dismembered, you have been disconnected. So dismembered, disconnected your wise ego. Asar has been dismembered, right? So your wise ego has been disconnected, dismembered, and you are operating in your Set energy. Set is running the ship. Set is ruling, right? And this is why our Set in the story has to remember the pieces. So of course she's all discombobulated when it happens, but then she has to remember the pieces, find all of his pieces, his bodies, and put them back together. That means the feminine aspect, which is the memory. It's the subconscious mind is about feelings, memory, intuition. That's why when you do regression therapy, you go into what? Your subconscious mind. So it houses all your memories. So you got to go back in there and you have to intentionally remember the things that you have dismembered and decided to not remember through your Set emotions or your Set thinking, right? So now here's where, let's bring back the solicitation. I want to plug that in because a lot of people don't talk about this aspect. There is Nekbet. Nekbet is said to have been the sister of Set, and that makes perfect sense because when Set starts tripping, here comes Nekbet. Nekbet in the story is said to have, I want to say, seduce Asar. She's the reason why Asar gets dismembered or gets caught up by Set. Because when Set gets the misappropriated, whatever feelings that happens, and there's some misappropriation, here comes her sister counterpart, Nekbet. Nekbet is the one who's doing the soliciting. The misappropriated feeling solicits, goes over to the conscious phase of mind and solicits. And then here comes Set, because once there's a solicitation to the conscious phase of mind, then you no longer remember who you are, and then you give power and rise to Set. So Set is a spin-off out of Asar once Asar has been compromised and corrupted. So once your conscious phase of mind has been compromised, corrupted by the solicitation of the misappropriated feeling, then here comes the misappropriated thinking, right? The misappropriated ego, which is Set, and he rules it, runs the ship. So Nekbet is the cause of this. But then in the death of Asar, and as Set is now in her feelings about everything, of course, now Nekbet helps her, because Nekbet is also known as the vulture represents her, which represents digestion. So now she's going to help digest what has just happened. Now in your feelings, you got to relook at that. So digesting that, this Nekbet now becomes a help onto the memory complex, onto Set. She finds the missing pieces, and another thing that Nekbet is known for is her magic, so to speak, her ability to let's say bring things back to life. So when they say Set brought back to life Asar, that was through the help of Nekbet. So she had to if you understanding what this means, when we get in our feelings, we got to go back to the cause of those feelings. We got to go back to Nekbet. Now Nekbet, who solicited, now has to help Asar in her remembrance, as she's remembering, connecting back with Nekbet, going back to where it all went wrong. And then Nekbet then helps with the magic that she knows to help bring Asar back to life. But once Set has remembered, notice that you have to remember Set. It has to go and find all the dismembered pieces, remembering the pieces of Asar. And then upon doing that, Nekbet can now assist her in the bringing back to life, the potion, the magic, all of that. That's the mystical aspect, right? When we remember who we are in our feelings in the subconscious mind, then what has been digested through Nekbet can now come together and bring back what was done away with. So this is, and then in this remembering, this is where Set becomes pregnant with Heru while she is doing what needs to be done. Because what is happening is there is a harmony. When there's a harmony between the conscious and the subconscious mind, then now it brings forth the third party, Heru. This is the Trinity threefold of us, right? It brings back the Heru, the superconscious. Heru represents our superconscious or our Christ conscious mind. That is our divine mind that is connected to the I am that I am. That is the God in us. But it never imposes, and it cannot come to help or do anything unless you find the harmony and the balance between the masculine and feminine energies, between the conscious and subconscious mind. So when Aset does her remembering the pieces of Asar, and then that is bringing rise to Asar and then bringing him back to life, but in his risen state, right? Not in the physical state, because he can't come back in the flesh. The flesh is what got him in trouble in the first place, right? Being solicited in the flesh. So you are risen to your higher state of mind. You're risen to your higher mind consciousness. It is that harmony, that harmonizing that is taking place before he is actually risen. It's that harmony that is taking place that brings forth the birth of the Christ consciousness, the Heru. Da-da-da-da, Heru to the rescue. And then Heru is the only thing that can fight Set. This is why it says, of myself I can do absolutely nothing. Because we can't fight Set. We that Set part of us is our ruling pharaoh, so to speak. And we can't fight it alone. We need our superconscious mind. We need the power of our Christ conscious mind, and that is the Heru. That is the hero of our soul, right? But it takes, for Heru to come forth, it takes remembering. It takes Aset going into herself, checking herself, working with the misappropriated feeling, Nekbet, to bring forth what was put aside, what was dismembered, and to bring back life into that, so that Heru can come and fight Set. You cannot fight Set in any other state but through Heru. So when you rise and you remember who you are and you activate your superconscious mind, then you can start to work on yourself and move these things that have been holding you down, all these misappropriations, all the Setian thoughts that have been ruling your conscious phase of mind, the pharaoh that has been ruling your sense conscious phase of mind. All of that can now be dealt with, right? So I say all of that to give the story, right? The roundabout of the story. So now, here's the beauty in what I'm seeing in this recap of the infinite, this halls of Amenti and this infinite gateway that we were in, infinite access. So walk with me while we regain infinite access to the soul, right, through a Kemetic understanding. And this is why these Kemetic stories are here, to help us understand our soul, and even through the stars, because these signs that the Greeks have renamed were originally the gods. These houses were originally the Kemetic gods. Aries is really Asar, right? And this is stuff that I have in my calendar for those who, the return to Kemet, is the calendar, the months are named, the houses are named according to the Kemetic inclination, the Kemetic design. So with that said, let's look at these past couple of months, right? We were coming out of Jehudi. I want to look at, let me not forget Anubis. You're going to hear me talk about Anubis in regards to this last full moon in Aquarius. And Aquarius is where the goddess of Anubis is the principal of that house. And Anubis is the son of Nekbet, as Heru is the son of Aset, right? And this is the opposition that was happening. We were in Heru, in Leo, the sun in Leo, sun in Heru, and the full moon was in Aquarius, which means the full moon was in Anubis. So the suns were in opposition, right? Also noted is where Heru is, it's in between the mothers. Nekbet is Cancer and Aset is Virgo. So Heru is strategically placed right there between the mothers, and across is Anubis. And when you understand their principalities, you see what's happening, even in the energies, in the realm of what's happening. The Heru is here to be the hero. And it's no coincidence that it's happening during the time frame that the Sirius star aligns with, through that belt that belt that is often called the Orion's belt, or the hero, the Horus, or Heru. It is the hero. So that sun that is in Leo is in Heru, right? So what's happening, if you notice, let's go back to where Set. Let's go back to Nekbet and Set. So when we were in Cancer, we were in the house of Nekbet. And that was digesting what needs to be digested, right? I can go all the way back to Jehudi. Jehudi is Gemini, right? And Jehudi is setting up the tone. It's setting up the halls of Amenti, because this is all happening before we get to this Syrian star lineup. So it's already setting up the halls of Amenti. The messages is coming to bring the messages that Heru is going to need these messages. So this communication is needed at that time. When we get into Cancer, we get into Nekbet. We are in the mother. This is the mother of Anubis. It's the mothering energy. And Nekbet is before Heru, right? But Nekbet is where there needs to be some, it's the counterpart. I want to say it's the counterpart of Set, because she is the misappropriation feeling and Set is the misappropriation thinking. So where she is wanting to be the mother and everything, and in opposition is Set, Capricorn. So while we're in Nekbet, the sun is in Nekbet, the moon, the full moon at that time, which we had 2 full moon in Capricorns, Set and Set. So that was a double Set energy, right? And Capricorn, that energy was about the season of accountability and holding ourselves accountable. And that's what Set is really about. Set is not the end all be all evil of evil. That Set energy is there for us to know ourselves, right? If we're really paying attention, we know we hold ourselves accountable for what is coming up. That Set energy is the evidence of what we have allowed. It's the misappropriations that we have allowed, but we have to be willing to hold ourselves accountable. So when this full moon in Set comes up, it's bringing the essence of accountability into the sun in Nekbet, where Nekbet is, right? For Nekbet to realize what she has done, for Nekbet to help us digest. That's another thing. It's about digestion. So even after coming after Jehudi with all the messages, we need to be able to digest these messages. So Nekbet is almost like the mother of that aspect, helping us to digest. And then within that, you have the Set, the moon in reflection, that is saying, here, now we need to have accountability. And we had 2 of them. So we had double opportunity to have accountability for the part that we play and how we show up. And so this is the Set energy that kicked up fuss in some of us. Like, you know, a lot of people don't like this feeling, but it was a true graduation this time around with both full moons. We had a double opportunity with this Set energy to hold accountability and ultimately graduate from something in your soul. So this is why I spoke in a previous video and was like, this is graduation. With that last full moon in Capricorn, it was a graduation, plus it was at 29 degrees, closing out some things that was highlighting where Neptune energy was in the sign of Pisces, aka Newt, right? In the stars, in the spiritual house of Pisces, which is Newt. So with that said, we're having this graduation, and we should have held ourselves accountable to something thanks to the accountability of that Set energy, if you truly know how to recognize it. But now that Set has brought up some stuff. There's a war inside going on. So now the sun moves into Heru, and here comes the hero. There's a hero. And now the hero is fighting all these things that were brought up, right? The hero has to come and fight that. So that Set energy, that double full moon Set energy, brought things up for us, so that the hero who's coming with that fire, element of fire, and the hero is coming to blaze it all up. So now we feel the fight while we're in the month of August. A lot of things were going on. We're actually in the halls of Amenti now, right? That Jehudi already set up for us, and now we're in the halls, and we're walking through the halls of Amenti, breaking out all illusions, getting them out of the way. And now we're in the new moon, the new moon of Heru as well. So the moon is aligned, the inner world is aligned with the outer world. Everything is so Heru, and this new moon was dead smack in the middle. This is when I got the numbers 818, was dead smack in the middle of the halls of Amenti, which opened up on the 26th of July, 8 days leading up to the new moon that was on the 4th. And that then after that, it was 8 days after that. That new moon day was considered day 1. New moon, new beginnings, 1. That's the 1 in the 818. The first 8 was the 8 days before, that we need to be coming out of this karmic infinite loop. We need to be leaving behind that 8. And then going forward, after the 1, the next set of 8 would be from the 5th to the 12th, and this is the 8 that we are to walk into our infinite existence. We are regaining access into that infinite existence. And this new moon was like really giving the double, the inner world to the outer world meeting of the minds with this Heru energy. So we are going through this as we're walking through the halls of Amenti, and this Heru is really slaying and killing all the Setian, thoughts that were brought up by that previous reflection of Set and full moon and Set. Now coming out of that, here we are coming out of the Heru. Let me look at the full moon. So before coming out of that, we just had the full moon in Anubis. And now what does Anubis do, y'all? Anubis is the jackal. Anubis prepares the body. After you have passed, Anubis is the one that prepares the body for the afterworld. So put down the body, take things out of the body, take the heart out, and carries the heart to, it is the jackal that carries the heart to Ma'at. So Anubis is doing this preparation now. So this last full moon was a reflection of everything that you heard me talking about, right? This is a Kemetic recap within the soul, right? Those who know, right? Those who could get it, stick with me if you can. So Anubis is the last full moon, was that full moon in Anubis. So that energy there is the which is the son of Nekbet in opposition of the son of Asar. You could basically call them cousins, brother cousins, however you want to look at it. And he is now, Anubis in the reflection is preparing the body. So everything that you had to deal with in the body, meaning the physical world, which is what you walk through the halls of Amenti to let go of, the illusions of the physical realm. And so in that, the body should have died, right? If we were really doing our work, it should be death to the body, meaning death to the illusions and the holds that we have in the physical world, right? So Anubis is now preparing that part of you that has died, good, gone, preparation, taking out the heart. And now it's time to weigh that heart. While that is happening, right? Because we don't get to Ma'at until the next month. So it's preparing us to take us over there. And so it's preparing after the fight, right? It's in opposition of Heru, and Heru did what he had to do, slew what he needed to slew, bodies dropping down, people dead. So now reflection, here's Anubis. Let me take care of this body. Let me do what we need to do. Let me take the heart out, because everything is in the heart. The heart represents the subconscious mind. The heart is the subconscious of the soul. So let's take the subconscious out. Let's go with this. This is the eternity. This is your eternal existence, is existing in the heart, right? Even the brain is in the heart. That's a whole nother story. But that's when you have heart-brain coherency, because it's not about the organ, the brain. It is the mind, the soul. That's included in the heart. So the heart comes out. And now Anubis is reflecting that. It's allowing you to have that reflection on all that has taken place while we were in the season of Heru this entire month and everything that was going on. Post halls of Amenti, all of that. Now we're entering into Set. So now there is a time for remembering. After all that is happening, a Set represents, these are the principles of a Set. She is also nurturing our wounds. We were in a battle. So you'll see Set breastfeeding Heru, that type of image. So now Heru has done what he came here to do, and now he needs a little bit of, nurturing. So Set is nurturing, but not in the way that you think, right? It's a nurturing as in, we got to be about our business, because that energy is remember what we need to remember. It's that Virgo energy, which is really the Aset energy of getting things done. Now here's what we got to do. So it's taking care of Heru, but in a way where being practical. Here's the practicality. Here's the substance. Here's the sustenance that you need. Let me breastfeed you. Here you go. Let me nurture you and give you what you need to go where you need to go. Right? So it's sustaining you. That's what this Aset energy is doing. So in this season that we're in now, as we just entered into Aset, we also should be working on reclaiming, recalling, remembering with due diligence, with responsibility of knowing that your Heru has done what he needed to do and slaying those set energies, right? And so the body should be down, and the reflection of Anubis shows that as Anubis prepares the body to be taken to Ma'at and judgment and justice. And as we go, before we get to Ma'at, we're in the space of Aset though. So this is a time to really, I would call to everyone to really go into their recalling, their remembering. After all of this has happened, there should be some clarity in the remembering as you are taking your Aset to that next level. And this is the last month of the first 6 months, which are very masculine type energy, but there's feminine in that too. At this stage, this is where Aset has given, it's like a return to Asar. At this point, it's returning after what Heru has done and fight the good fight to restore the reign of Asar, of his father Asar. This is our risen wise consciousness, and this is what Aset is doing now as she is nurturing Heru, and the battle has been done. And now it's and it doesn't happen. If you read this story, what I'm telling you, I'm giving as I got the light codes. If you read the story intellectually, you're not going to see it like this, because it doesn't happen in that particular order, right? I'm doing like a playback for you. I'm showing you the different energies and the essence of them and what they're saying to our soul. And as we're moving along through the months, through the houses are showing us this dynamic and how we can work with these energies within our soul. Now it is time to restore Asar. Asar is risen. Your wise ego is risen, but not in the body anymore, in its risen state. And with that said, as we move into the next 6 months, because Aset, aka Libra, aka as they put it, October, it actually begins the next 6 months. So the next 6 months will be the spiritual, the more feminine or spiritual houses. So we're entering into the spiritual realms and the spiritual domains. The first 6 are more physical, although we are still there are some spiritual components, but we have come to that end. And at the end of that, Asar from the first month, which is Aries, Asar is now being risen again, but risen in preparation for the invisible, the spiritual realm, the higher state, the ruler of, they say the ruler of the underworld, but it's like the ruler of the overworld of the underworld, so to speak, because he's in his high place. That's why when you look at the pictures and Heru takes the heart, if your heart is lighter than the feather, Heru leads you to Asar. Heru, which is your subconscious mind, leads you to Asar, which is your risen state in your conscious mind. So again, only Heru. And I'm going to talk more about this when we get to the Ma'at aspect of it, of what's happening during that Ma'at stage. But it's to understand that Heru, again, the superconscious mind, will lead you to that risen state of your, it's like you're going to have to always go through Heru. You have to always go through the superconscious, the Christ conscious mind to bring you to your risen state, because I and of myself can do absolutely nothing. But with the Father, I can do everything. And all that means is with the divine, I can do everything. When I incline to the divine, I can do everything. And I'm inclined to the divine whenever I have a harmony between my conscious and subconscious mind, aka the masculine and feminine, aka Asar and Aset, right? That brings forth Heru, superconscious. That's my divine mind. And when I'm divinely inclined, I can do all things. Always, I can overcome anything that comes up in the physical realm. So that's the story that I got that I had to share with you all. Okay, ice cream truck. It's time to take the kids, time to take the children to the park. So with that said, I share that with you all as a recap of this. It's the Kemetic recap, the Kemetic spin on what we've just walked through with this infinite existence as we regain access to our infinite existence, a return to Kemet, a shift in time. Here you go into your superconscious mind. 30:30 on the clock. As soon as I said that, 3:3, 30:30, right? So with that said, anything else to remind? Thank you for those of you who have been subscribing and keeping it going so that we can reach other like-minded people, our other like-minded star seeds. Thank you so much. I still have not been able to read the comments, so my apologies. I'm coming back to home base and in town this weekend, and I will dive back into all of that. But thank you all. Keep the comments coming because I'm going to catch up to them. So please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare, if you haven't already done. If you don't have words to say but it resonated with you, leave some emojis however you choose to. Leave some stars, anything that resonates with you, hearts. And always remember too, the calendar, things, what you hear me talking about, that's all in the 5D calendar. The months are named by the Kemetic gods. So it's a little exciting piece to tap into. Feel free to tap into that. I still have calendars going. So get them at a 5D corner near you in the description link or a previous video if you don't see it in this one. As I haven't been time to put these in the description. I haven't had that time because I'm just on the go and I'm doing it on my phone and not tapping into the computer where I usually put in everything. So pardon me. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for all of you who are subscribing, listening. Thank you for those of you who have tuned in to become a part of the community that we're now building. The Sojourners of Truth, the Syrian Star Seeds, all of that. We're coming online. So get into your cosmic design, get into your soul's incline and your divine mind, because it's all in you. With that said, each one reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one, and the next one, and the next one. Peace, love, and light.